I'm the greatest builder in The Sims 4. Here's the proof of it. Today we're going to be going ahead and touring this house I built right here in The Sims 4. It's supposed to be like this industrial warehouse. I keep on calling it like a rock quarry or something like that. That has been turned into a modern day, almost doomsday prepper's house. Now, I made this house very much off grid accessible, and then I have it for a family of four. It's two kids and then two parents. The dad's supposed to be an architect, and then the mom, I don't know if I ever disclosed, like in my little pretend building, what she was supposed to be, but there is quite a few like plants and all that stuff kind of gathered throughout. And the kids are supposed to be like homeschooled. So maybe she's just kind of like a slightly stay at home mom, slash, she does a lot of like gardening and all that stuff. And then we have a teenage boy and we have a like a 10-year-old girl or so. So my preface for this house was that they more or less, like I said, live off grid. They obviously have quite a bit of money. This is like a very modern, almost like a brutalist, kind of like a lofty industrial type of vibe. So there's kind of an eclectic feel to this all throughout. So if any point you do find this to be a very beautiful home, or if you think it's a really fun idea, or if you just like me, then you definitely consider hitting that follow button, subscribe, like, comment, all that stuff. But without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get into the tour of our build. So again, here's a 360 of this build. Now, this is in the world that does come with Get Together, and it's in one of the lots in the bottom left corner. Now, I placed all of these rocks myself. They are all just debug items. And I know a lot of people, excluding myself, like to know what the different lightings look like when it comes to the different times of day. So obviously we have afternoon, evening, night, and then of course morning. My favorite is usually afternoon when it comes to building and stuff. But let's go ahead and show off a floor plan. So basically this house is 3 stories going up and then technically 1 story going down, which we'll see in just a second. But here is our main level right here. So for our floor plan, we have a dining table, and then we of course have the kitchen. We have a restroom, and then over here it's kind of like a seating area. And then in just a second, I'll show you a little sneak peek of something that's behind this secret bookshelf door right there. But then we, of course, have a greenhouse. And then obviously we have a pool right here. I made a small little garden with a chicken coop. And then we have a pond. And then up on our second floor, this is more or less like the kids part of the house. So I have right here in this area, we have what is more or less an area for them to be able to do some like, school activities when it comes to homeschooling. Then we have the teenage boy's bedroom, and he has his own private bathroom. There is an upstairs family room as well. And then over in this section, we have a second floor restroom. And then this is our daughter's bedroom as well. Then up on the third floor over on this side, we of course have an office space. We have some outdoor seating areas, and then we have the primary bedroom and bathroom taking up the rest of the third floor. And then we do have, of course, some lookout areas and stuff, but pretty big house overall. I do very much like it. And to show you the little sneak peek and show you what's in the basement of this, since this is an off-grid house, I thought it'd be a really fun idea to make an underground bunker. So behind that bookcase that is in the family room area, we of course have a bunker. So we have a family room, we have a pantry, a restroom, a kitchen, a maintenance closet, we have a boiler room, and we just have 2 bedrooms right here. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in first person point of view so we can tour the entire thing. Now I'm going to go ahead and just start with the most bottom floor of the house, meaning the first floor, and then we will showcase the basement at the very end because it's a little bit trickier to show the first floor, or I'm sorry, the basement levels in first person. But here's just kind of a pan through of what we have as our backyard or our side yards, whatever it may be. So you can kind of see in this area, we have an outdoor dining set. And then we, of course, have a outdoor fire pit. And then this right here, we're just kind of pretending that it's supposed to be like a rock version of a hot tub. And then, of course, we have this beautiful tower and just kind of a look of all this around us. Inside of there, we'll show in just a moment, we have the greenhouse. And then, like I kind of said, over on this side, this is our beautiful pond over in this back section. And then over here, we just have a simple chicken coop. We have some plants, and then we obviously have a little beehive and a well and all that in that back corner. And then over on this side right here, my pride and joy, this took me forever to make, but I made this super beautiful pool. I actually went as far as putting stones underneath the water. I don't know if we'll be able to go underneath the ground level to see. you can't see, but basically I individually put stones one by one down there so it looks super, super nice and flowed well together. But then we'll just show off this room inside of here first. This is our green room, or our plant house. So over in this back corner, we of course have a candle making kit, a chess table, and then we just have some plants kind of scattered all throughout here. Super, super cute. And then we'll make our ways back over here. Now, this is kind of, I guess, our front door. It's supposed to be an old factory or warehouse or mine, whatever it was. So it's obviously a little bit unconventional, so we don't have a technical first door, but we have this as our entranceway right here. Now, over in this back corner, this is our dining room space. Really, really cute and beautiful. I love the eclectic feel of it, but here it's just like an overall 360. Obviously, we have a side door right here, which I'll just kind of give a little sneak peek. It will just lead us up to this back staircase. So nothing crazy outside here. It just has a staircase to get us up to our second level. But then next to our dining space, we have this really nice and warm and cozy kitchen. Now, like I said, for this house, I really wanted to try to go for a super just beautiful but eclectic and just a mix of a lot of stuff. I figure they have a lot of money, and like I said, the dad is supposed to be an architect, so I figured this was just a really, really nice use of materials where it kind of just is very functional but has a little bit of that raw material with it to kind of just give it more of that, I don't know, off-grid feel. But here's the downstairs restroom where we also have a laundry space, and then there's a shower right inside of there. Coming outside of this, we kind of go over into this back area. Now, this is just a hangout spot. One of the things I really focus on with this house is having as many places as possible to like socialize and gather and just kind of hang out. Just because I feel like if you are living off grid, my thought process with this family is they probably go to town maybe like once every week or so just to gather all their groceries and like, you know, go shopping and just everyday stuff. They're not trying to live off the land completely, but I feel like they spend the majority of their time at home. So I wanted to just make it have a lot of inviting spaces to hang out. Like I said, they definitely have money. This is not some, you know, bumpkin way of living, but definitely pretty. And like I said, behind that bookcase right there, we have a special little secret door that leads us to our bunker, which we'll show at the end. But going on to the second floor, like I mentioned, this is our kids' space. Also, shout out to this staircase I did. All the way up there, you can see that we have a really beautiful skylight, but this actually goes all the way down into the bottom floor, and I just thought it was really pretty. It took a lot of effort for me to make that, and I did it. But anyways, oh, that stuff got deleted. I wonder what that happened with that. Let me go upstairs and see if maybe it comes back. Oh, that's so weird. I don't know why they got deleted, but this shelves were filled with quite a bit more stuff on there, so that must have been a weird glitch. Weird. But anyways, this is just like the area, like I said, so the kids have another space to go ahead and work, you know, at school and do their schoolwork. I keep on wanting to say work from home, doing homeschooling. So over here, we just have a nice little hangout spot. And then inside of this door right here, like I said, this is supposed to be for our teenage son. So I have him having a lot of gaming stuff. He has a lot of science related things inside of here as well. But here is just a look at his bedroom. And then, of course, over in this back section, we just have his restroom. We have a nice wet bath over here with the shower and tub. And then we, of course, just have all of his other stuff inside of his restroom. Going back over towards this way, we just have a little look going in this direction. Right outside these doors right here, it's just kind of a hangout spot. Again, we just don't really have much other than some seating areas. At the top of this tower, there's just a telescope, which you might have saw, but just some outdoor seating areas. And then as we make our way, we just have this nice table. And then over on this right-hand side, we just have some more school-related stuff. And then right in this back section, this is just an upstairs family room. I figured it'd be a nice place for the kids to hang out, or, you know, just another place for the family to socialize in general. Like I said, I wanted a lot of places to gather and just a lot of places like that. I guess there must have been a weird glitch that happened. There's supposed to be a staircase right here as well that is for some reason not there. The plants and everything perfectly lined up with it. So pretend there's a staircase right there. I'm not sure why that got deleted too. Something weird must have happened when I go into my game. But then here is just the second floor restroom. We just have a nice bathtub and shower inside of here. Same concept of what we had over in the teenage son's bedroom. And then inside this door right here, we obviously have our daughter's bedroom. So she's supposed to be like a 10-year-old or so. And we, of course, just have her stuff kind of all scattered throughout. And I use this really cool fire escape situation, size down, make this fun lofted bed. It's obviously not functional, but very, very fun. And again, we're just going to go ahead and pretend that right here we have a staircase because for some reason it got deleted. I'm not sure why. But this is our top floor office. So this is where the dad, like I said, is an architect. So we just have a lot of architect type things all over the place. Cute little area right there. And then outside of this, we just have like a fire pit and some areas to sit. And then up on top of this tower, I just thought it'd be a cute idea to do a seating area. And then as we make our way over to this side, right, this corner, we of course have the primary bedroom space. Has a really, really cool ceiling with a glass skylight. And then we just have the closets over in that back corner. And then obviously that bed. And then as we make our way across, this over here is just a cute little table with like a record player with some fun pieces of artwork above it. Here's just another glimpse of how the room looks from this angle. Super, super pretty. And then we just have inside of here is our primary bathroom space. So absolutely love the vibes of this. This window is everything overlooking the whole entire property and the water. And then obviously over in this back side, we just have the double shower heads. Now, in the basement of this, like I said, we do have an underground bunker. So we'll go ahead and show that off as well. Oh, you can kind of see over in this back corner how I told you I individually placed these stones one by one. It took forever, but I think it was definitely worth it. But if you go behind that special bookshelf door in the downstairs family room, it leads you to a staircase that then leads you to a door right here that leads us to our basement, which is an underground bunker. So like when you first walk in, here is our downstairs family room. So as you can see, it's very, very usable. Like I said, it's very modern. They might actually use this space in general, but I wanted it to kind of feel like if they absolutely needed to in like times of, necessity, they can just like run downstairs and totally be safe. So here is their family room area. I have all these little buckets inside of here to kind of give the idea that there's some products and materials in there. And then inside of this, we just have a really beautiful pantry with some water and extra food. Obviously, a little dining table in the center of that. And then over to this right-hand side, we just have a laundry space / another restroom down on this bottom basement area. And then over in this back corner, we have a fully equipped kitchen for them to go down here and need to use it for a long time. They have the ability to do that. Then inside of here, this is supposed to be like a workshop and just a tool shed type of situation. So you can kind of see tools all scattered throughout, some extra wood and all that stuff. And then moving into this store, I figure this is like a boiler room or like a power room. If you paid attention outside, we had solar powers absolutely everywhere, like little panels. So I figured this might be a great place for them to have all that monitored stuff, especially like in times of need if they were underground like this. This is great for everything to be kind of hidden away in the basement so they still have access to it. So that way, if they're stuck down here for a long time, they still have, all the materials for upstairs. But anyways, as we make our way across this over in this back section is kind of where the bedroom situation is. So we just have some more cabinets over on the right-hand side. And in this first door right here, this is just an area with some bunk beds. And I figured we had some toys and things in here. You never know who has to go down here. So I figured it was just like a nice multi-purpose space for 4 people to be able to sleep down there if need be. And then inside of here, it's kind of like the primary bedroom. So some more cabinets. And then obviously we just have a bed. But that right there is the house in all of its entirety. So it's definitely a super, super fun and beautiful build. I obviously have it on my gallery, which is just Austin Fendler. Now, I use a ton of custom content, so keep that in mind that unless you have all the same stuff I do, if you download it, it won't look the exact same. But it is right here. It's called the Modern Bunker Sleigh, but I had lots of fun building this. So like I mentioned a little bit earlier in the video, if you did enjoy this video at any point and you thought I did a good job, definitely make sure to hit that follow button, subscribe, comment, like, share, all that stuff. But I definitely enjoyed making this build right here. I think it turned out absolutely beautiful and it was so much fun doing something kind of outside the box. So yeah, like I said, if you enjoy this, actually make sure you follow. Make sure you hang out with your boy again soon. But yeah, I will see you guys all #later. All right, friends. Adios, adios, adios.